Hey folks, welcome to Lowcountry Money Talk, where we are talking all kinds of good information that you're going to need in retirement and beyond. Of course, we've got a lot of questions for Phil Bloyd, who is here with Revolutionary Financial Group. Thanks for having us. Thanks for being here. Boy, nice to see you.
I'm enjoying being here, Jessa.
Well, we have an exciting episode ahead of us. I got a lot of questions for you. Of course,
Okay.
A big question on people's mind when they're thinking about money is really, it is difficult to plan for retirement and really understanding how much income they need. So that's why we bring you in. How
Right.
much income do you need?
Right.
And, one of the other things that we sometimes forget to factor in is taxes and how that affects what we are taking in and of course, distributions as
Right.
well. So big topics. What do you have for us?
Well, there's a hole in your bucket.
Yes.
So, if we consider income in retirement a bucket of money, then the hole in the bucket that leaks out would be income taxes. So depending on how you saved, did I save pre-tax, post-tax, deferred? How did I save? And then what is the tax balance, income tax balance, once I take this dollar out? For example, if I contributed to a 401k or an IRA and I deferred the taxes, a lot of times when I'm having a seminar, I will ask people, what does the word defer mean? And they say later, and I'm like, now is later.
Oh, here we are. It's later. Yeah.
So defer, a lot of people when they're contributing, they think, well, I'm saving in taxes or income taxes. Well, actually, you're just deferring those taxes for a later time.
Right.
And the time is when you take money out. So the IRS is interested in where you take those funds for, and then how much they're going to get from your distribution. So we have to count that into the formula of income distribution. So, many times we talk about, income versus accumulation. So now we're in the income phase. So when we're in the accumulation phase, we're deferring the taxes, as I mentioned. We don't worry too much about those taxes.
That's later.
We'll deal with that, down the road, whatever. Okay, so then it's like, well, what happens when I take this dollar out of my 401k or my traditional IRA? How much do I lose to taxation? Well, if I'm still in the income or the accumulation phase, let's say accumulation phase, if I'm still, I'm thinking, I'm talking to a new advisor, maybe we can get an extra 2 or 3% in return or this or that. If you're going to lose 20% in distribution or taking that dollar and it's only going to be worth 80 cents.
Right.
And of course we have inflation too, which we'll talk about later. But hey, I'm going to need to take more dollars if they're only worth 80 cents,
Absolutely.
right? So the idea would be is if we can figure ways during distribution to make those dollars have more value than 80 cents, that would be better maybe than saying, hey, maybe I can invest in this and get an extra 2 or 3% return.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that could be a huge difference in what you are able to utilize there as you are making those distributions. So some important considerations. And, as we do consider these things, it's so helpful to have your guidance and you talking us through some of these things because we don't necessarily think of them at the time that we're doing them. And we don't always know the ins and outs. We're talking about taxes and how that can really affect you during distribution. We're also going to talk a little bit about inflation, something you touched on that I have a feeling is something really worth considering. So let's spend some time on that after the break, if you will. Phil, kind of walk us through some of that. We'll talk a little bit about health costs, maybe market changes too, but we're going to kick it off with inflation after the break. We hope you'll stick with us. Some good pointers here thanks to Phil and Lowcountry Money Talk. We'll be right back.
All right.